All right, our eighth one is rubidium and oxygens combined together. Now remember, there should be two atoms of Rb, rubidium. Why? Because remember, down here there is a 2 next to it. So if there's a number next to it, that tells you, right, how many atoms of that particular atom or element that you have. So since O doesn't have a number, we know that that's 1. So Rb2O. So we have 3 atoms that are combined together. So what do? We always go to our periodic table to do our electron diagrams first, right? So if you look here, Rb is in the very first column, which means each one of our rubidiums have 1 valence electron. Okay, let's look at O. O is right there, right? So if I'm working backwards, 8, 7, 6. So oxygen has 6 valence electrons. So I'm going to put 6 valence electrons around this one. Oops. Okay, there we go. 6 valence electrons. All right, so regardless of whether I have 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever amount of atoms I have to say which ones are they givers or takers, right? And the same exact idea still exists. Do you want to get to 0 or 8, right? So Rb, since it only has 1 valence electrons, clearly it's going to get to 0 because it's much easier to get to 0 than it is to 8, right? And likewise, oxygen has 6. It's much easier to get to 8 than it is going to be to get to 0, right? So we know that Rbs are my givers, oxygen is my taker, right? So now Rb is going to give 1 electron over here, okay? So like you'll notice that, all right, this one has now 0 on it. Perfect. This oxygen still has 7, right? So it still needs 1 more. Well, guess what? This Rb gives that 1 away. So now this oxygen chemically combines with this 1 Rb and this 1 Rb. So it's kind of like makes a little triangle here, right? As to how they're going to be connected to one another. Okay, so this Rb is not connected to that one because they never transferred electrons to each other. Okay, so they both transferred to this 1 oxygen. Now remember, right, both Rb and O are now different. So we have to put brackets around it to show that they have now changed, right? So here we go, right? So in this case now we have Rb, right? It is lost an electron, so it's going to have a 1 plus charge because it has now 1 more proton than electron. So I'm going to do that to the other one. And then my oxygen gained 2 electrons, so it's going to have 2 more electrons than protons. So there you go. Now remember, to double check your answer, there's 2 things you can do. One is make sure that you have 0 valence electrons around it, and one of them has 8 valence electrons around it. So I know that I did this right because the givers have 0 and the takers have 8 valence electrons. The other one is I'm going to look at my minuses and my plus signs, right? I have 2 minus here and 2 1 pluses. So if I add these together, I have 2 pluses. So they should cancel each other out, and they do, right? The 2 minus cancels out with the 2 positive on there. So I know that I did this correctly based on those 2 things. Cool. All right, let's do the last one.